So recently I discovered what I think, in my opinion, is the best build of Lucian for 14.10 patch, which is the start of Split 2, season 2024. There's a lot of confusion around what to build with ADCs in this patch, especially those ADCs whose main core build paths got changed a lot, such as Lucian. And it sounds hard to believe, but with this new tech, you will be able to get your 3 core items by the time the enemy ADC is still struggling at 1.5 to 2 items, even when you're not fed. It involves exploiting something Riot might have missed about the new items, especially the stats, and the new runes that you get a lot for free. I fully expect this to be adopted in some ADCs, including Lucian, but maybe some others as well. It's not the only ADC in which this works, and maybe even patched or fixed later. So the first thing that I want to get out of the way is that if you go to practice tool in a vacuum and you do the math, just item by item, there are other builds that are better than this one. However, the power in this build is the fact that you will get it sooner than any other build, no matter what. So we will actually do the math on gold value and the damage you do with each different amount of gold, and then you will see how this build is actually monstrous. It's just ridiculous. I've been spamming it a lot. It feels so good to use. So let's get into the build. Ever since I started playing League of Legends, it's always been the case that boots were always necessary. Actually, some ADC players already know how powerful it is to get your power spikes without having to buy boots. This is why if you ever watch Gumayushi playing Samira or Draven in pro play, he actually gets 3 items with not even tier 1 boots, or even sells the boots for items. And I always felt like boots are kind of what prevents some ADCs from reaching like a sweet power spike. So this is what this build try to exploit. I will explain. So something that I noticed is that it feels kinda bad to have to buy boots if you're not ahead or if you're like struggling to buy your other items. And one thing that happened this season, 2 things, is that there is a lot of emphasis in finishing actually full items because components got nerfed. So if you only have components, your build feels really bad, especially in ADC. And the other issue is that there's a lot of BF sword items that you need on ADC now. And until you get a BF sword and you finish the item, your build feels really bad. And the issue is that if you gotta get BF sword plus the boots, it's like it delays your power spikes a lot. So I actually found some tech that makes this actually easier to get. So this is how the tech works. The first thing that we're gonna do is that we're never gonna buy boots on Lucian, okay? I don't just mean tier 2 boots, I mean no boots at all. So we're gonna buy no boots at all. Your first purchase is gonna be Kraken Slayer. It's the best purchase for bang for the buck. The damage is amazing, it's not that expensive, it's cheaper than Essence River. And actually gives you a lot of speed, which is what we want to get with the build. As for starting item, you can get Blade in a lane that you're going to fight a lot, and you can also get Call in lanes that you have like Enchanter versus Enchanter. But what I like to do is buy Blade, push the first 3 waves, Cheater Recall on Cannon Wave after killing Cannon Wave, and then you get a Call and come back to lane. This build is all about gold efficiency. So, what are we going to do with the build then? So after we have the first 2 items and we finish Kraken, already we have quite a lot of speed with just this. As you can see, 358. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna buy ZL into BF Sword. So with just this, as you can see, you already have 375 speed without needing to buy boots. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna finish Navori and you're gonna finish Infinity Edge. So this is your main core items. And as you can see, without ever even buying boots, I'm already at 382 speed. So why is this so powerful? Because I'm also using Cashback Rune, which allows me to get the Infinity and the Navori faster. And when you mix the Cashback plus the Navori being cheaper than Essence River or any other item, plus the Kraken being cheaper than Essence River, and the fact that you're not buying boots at all, it means that you're getting your power specs so much sooner than the enemy. So as you can see here, Cashback already gave me 546 gold, plus the fact that I didn't buy tier 1 nor tier 2 boots. Well, you would have magical footwear in most builds, so let's say that you saved 600 gold for Lucidity's there. So that's already around 1100 gold saved for free. And then the other thing we saved is the fact that we didn't buy Essence River, so that's already a couple hundred more gold, or 100 at least. So already our build is a couple thousand gold, or 1000 and something gold cheaper. But it doesn't end there. The other advantages of this is that it has no drawbacks. So, for example, you might think, okay, but I have no haste. It doesn't matter. The new Navori is so broken that you can actually use the combo forever, what I call the endless combo, which has Navori and no ability haste, as I'm gonna demonstrate here. So you can start with E, As you can see, you can infinite combo even though I have no Nabori. And basically you can combo pretty much forever. And that's with only 1 point in W. Now, one thing I like to do, if you feel comfortable with not having that much mana to spare, you can get triple tonic instead of biscuit delivery. And then what's gonna happen is that you will get the additional point in E even sooner, so that you can infinite combo despite having no CDR. Also, you get 40 extra gold. So with these core 3 items, you're gonna be, no joke, at 3 items completed or almost completed by the time the enemy this is like 1.5 to 2 items, because they're wasting gold on boots, especially if they have to buy tier 1 boots. They're wasting gold on more expensive items than you. And I fully expect this tech to be adopted by other ADCs. I think boots are not necessary anymore for a lot of champions. For example, I think if you're playing other ADCs now, you just get magical footwear and simply never upgrade boots the whole game, because you can get like Kraken Phantom Dancer, and that's already like almost 400 speed if I'm not mistaken. So I think Riot is really missing how powerful it is to buy items without buying boots now. I expect this to be meta soon. I don't know how people are not abusing this, the fact that you don't need to buy boots. And I want to get into the runes. So there's 2 rune pages that you can go. You can go press the attack with simply Presence of Mind, because we're not going Essence River early. You can go Essence River after if you want. So I'm going Presence of Mind because I don't have Essence River. Lifesteal, pretty standard. Like, you have so much attack speed in the build, you will never go attack speed, and you don't need the haste rune because as I demonstrated, you can actually combo forever. And you can go either coup de grace or cut down, that's up to you, depending on the draft. And basically cashback is what makes this build work. You need cashback. And I prefer biscuit if you're going for laning phase, but if you're going like full scale with gold or whatever, you can get just triple tonic and ignore the laning phase. For example, if I was playing mid lane Lucian with this build, I would go triple tonic, cold start. Now, what about the last items? Well, usually at this point you already need some sort of Less Whisper, or Lord Dominic's or whatever. And already you have 75 crits, so now it's optional. You can get Essence Rear, you can get Bloodthirster, or you can get Yuntal. The other insanely broken OP thing about having no boots is that you can get actually 6 items. So you can do something like this, and now I have 6 items with no boots, with 382 speed, and you can see the speed that I have right now. And I'm gonna do like an insane amount of damage, and without boots. Like, this is so broken. I don't know how this is, some people are not doing. I checked pro builds and everybody's going Essence Rear and boots on Lucian. Is completely useless. You don't need that. You can combo forever with this, especially if I'm level 15, for example. You can see that basically I can keep my combo up all the time, and I don't need to worry about any sort of cooldowns, right? And even if you ever like mess up your combo and you don't have that much combo up or cooldowns, what you can do is you can use your ult to refund them. So let's say that I reach this point and I have no cooldowns now, I can simply ult, then refund my cooldowns, and we keep going. As you can see, I have 0 ability haste, and look at how much I'm comboing with 0 ability haste and no boots. No boots, no ability haste, I can combo literally forever, okay? So let's get into the pros and cons of this build. And I'm gonna tell you why I think this is like the pros overweigh the cons, and then we're gonna do some math in practice tool, or at least some demonstrations of this build versus other builds per gold value. So the pros are: you reach power spikes sooner than the enemy. The build path is more comfortable because you don't have to buy boots or as many BF swords. Despite reaching power spikes sooner, also your early game is better because of buying as many longswords as you want for Kraken. Not having to buy boots means that you get more access to crit items and 6 items in total, so you can be like super creative and adapt to the enemy draft with your build because there's a free slot that you have. And actually you do more damage than any other build as far as I'm concerned. As for the cons, literally the only drawback this build has is maybe 2 things. One is that your ult damage is slightly lower than Essence River, because of Kraken not giving crit and Lucian ult scales with crit. So I did the math and I went to break this ult. You do around 10 to 15% less damage with this build on your ult. And the other drawback, at least the 3 items, and the other drawback that this build has is no infinite mana. But if you're good at handling your mana, that shouldn't be that much of an issue. So now on to the last part, I want to do some quick math on 3 items on this build. So how much gold did I spend to get these 3 items? Let's reset the game. Let's say I'm level 11, and we're gonna ignore Dorans because that's up to you whether you buy it or not. So I'm gonna just focus on the core items, right? So as you can see, cashback 0 gold, and if I buy my main 3 items, which is Kraken, Nabori. So how much gold did I spend so far? Well, I spent 3.1k and 2,600 minus the cashback, minus 342. And then when you finish Infinity Edge, so how much gold did I spend now? Let's go to calculator. So what I spent is 3,100 plus 2.6 plus 3.4. Okay, so I spent 9.1k minus the cashback. Okay, so the cashback right now is at 546. This is kind of cheating because the last point of cashback was after Infinity, but still, let's count it at 500 to round up and not cheat too much. It's between 3 and 500, okay? So let's say that around 8.6k to finish my 3 core items, okay? So how much gold did I spend to finish my 3 core items if I'm going the normal Lucian build? Well, I would have tier 1 for free for magical footwear, so let's not count that. So it will be 600 plus Essence River, Nabor Infinity. So this is 600 plus 3.2k plus 2.6 plus 3.4. Already we're spending more than 1,000 gold more. And this is without counting that some ADCs will not take magical footwear. So if instead of 600 it's an ADC that takes, for example, Jinx, no magical footwear, and attack speed boost, it's 500 more gold, right? So I'm literally spending almost 2,000 gold less than the enemy ADC to reach the same power spike amount of gold and damage. So what that means is that for my build, okay, if I want to compare this build in practice tool to my build, the damage that I will have to compare is I need to spend 10,300 on my build or 9,800 on my build. So how much can I spend for 9,800 on my build? Well, I can get an extra BF sword basically. Just remember, my build was 8 point something. So I basically, compared to this Lucian build, I can have an extra free BF sword in my build. So let's try this in practice tool. Let's see how much damage we're gonna do with a combo. Let's do it as many times as we can to not get random crits. Okay, so as you can see, it's gonna be between 2.7 and 3.2. Let's try once more. 2.7 again. 3.1. So it's between 3.1, 3.2, 2.7, right? And now let's try with my build. The same amount of gold spent, remember, this is how much gold is 600. Let's do it again, right? 600 plus 400 plus this plus the Essence River. So 9.8, right? Whereas my build was way less because of cashback and no boots. So I get a free BF sword compared to this build in my build for the same amount of gold, right? If I want to spend 9.8 in my build, I will have to buy Kraken, Navori, Infinity. So this is this plus this plus this minus the cashback. So I get a free pickaxe slash BF sword, right? Compared to the other build. So 3 long swords, more or less, let's say. So this is actually a fair comparison now compared to the other build. So let's see how much damage I do. So this is the previous damage. Let's see with this one. 3.4. It's already bigger. Let's do it once more. 3.4 again. And more DPS as well because of higher attack speed, right? You take towers faster as well. 3.4 again. 3.6. So as you can see, my build does way more damage for the same amount of gold. Plus, it has a better build path. Plus, I actually can buy 6 items, which is full item of crits and AD instead of boots. And the only drawback is that I lose 20 seconds of my ult cooldown and 10 or 15% ultimate damage. So I think this is just better. Unless you're playing a comp that you gotta go first strike and only play with ult and nothing else, I just recommend this build in any elo that you can out-attack a lot, really. There are some variations that you can do with the build. For example, I have been experimenting with only taking magical footwear and still not upgrading. I still think cashback is better for 2 and 3 item power spike, but I don't hate it if the enemy has a lot of range or speed, like a Jinx with lethal tempo, Jinx with fleet in the enemy team. Then sure, you might get magical footwear, but the rest is still the same. I just think you should never get cooldown boots now on Lucian. You never need them, never upgrade boots. And if you can avoid getting them with cashback, it's even better. You might find that super late game, it's kind of hard to catch some people if you don't have Nami or Yumi or some speed up with just 382 speed, because truth is, some champions are getting more speed nowadays. So what you can do is 6th item or 5th item, you can buy Rapid Fire Cannon. It doesn't give you AD, but it gives you speed. And at that point, cashback is already giving you 1k gold, right? So when you think about it, it's not that expensive, and it gives you crit for old. I have done that if enemy team has like, Serath, Ezreal, Jinx with Fleet, Karma. You can get the 5th or 6th item, Rapid Fire Cannon, and you might think, well, but, you know, um, when do you even get to that point? Like, that's so late game, it barely matters, like only like 10% of games, right? No. The beauty of this build is that most games you're getting 4 or 5 items guaranteed, because the build is so cheap, you get so much gold from cashback. Like, don't underestimate the fact that most games you can end with 4 or 5 items. So what I've been doing is like, after Infinity, my 4th item is usually either Armor Penetration, or it can be another crit item like Collector or Rapid Fire, or it can be Essence River. Then 5th item, usually I do Bloodthirster. And then after that, I do whatever I don't have, so I can get the Rapid Fire then. But yeah, like, you get so much gold from cashback, don't underestimate it. Usually I find that unless it's a very, speed heavy enemy team and range heavy, I don't think 382 speed is too low until very late stages of the game. So that's what I would do. So tell me what you guys think, guys. Is this something that you could have used with other champions? I was thinking you can do this with like Jinx, Sivir type champions. You can get magical footwear and never upgrade the boots and just get Phantom Dancer second. It's a lot of movement speed. You get like 400 for free. So yeah, tell me whether I'm missing something. You think it's actually not that good. Let me know down in the comments whether I'm maybe delusional. There's something I'm not seeing. Otherwise, just go test it out. Tell me how it goes. And yeah, thank you for watching. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you want me to try this out with any other champions. I'm gonna leave the specific build and runes in the description. And thanks for watching. If you want coaching, check out my links. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Thank you.